everyone, thank you all for coming. We're gonna start soon, so find yourself a place, a seat please. And yes, we are beginning our event, and I'm giving the microphone to Hania Radziejowska, the director of Pilecki Institute, and she will introduce the whole program for tonight.
So perhaps I will introduce Anton Rok, and we feel honored to create together this very pop-up exhibition in 3 days, and with Vitsche and Ukrainian diaspora. And today we would like to pay tribute to Maks Levin, to his amazing work, beautiful life. Maks Levin was murdered by Russian soldiers, and because he documented Russian aggression, Russian crimes, and one of Russia's greatest enemies, the truth. And today we would like to commemorate him, and we will listen to voices of his friends, colleagues, loved ones, and we will watch his film. And right now, I think we would like to introduce the initiator of this evening, Zhanna Babieva. She's Maks Levin's friend, colleague, Ukrainian documentary movie maker, and yes.
Hello. Hello, nice to meet you all today. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Zhanna. I'm a Maks colleague. We used to work together, and we used to film together, and he's one of the greatest photojournalists I ever know. And we do this meeting today because it's important to show that now Russian soldiers killing Ukrainian journalists while they're working on the field. And we want to spread this message around the world that it's one of the most, I think, shittiest things that could possibly happen with you while you're working. And yes, I think this is the huge tragedy for Ukraine, the last one of the greatest journalists. And we make today this exhibition, and we're gonna show you the photos which was taken by Maks during the last months of war in Ukraine. Thank you. And I would like to ask to speak one of the embassy workers here with us. Please join us, Vadim Nagaychuk.
Thank you for this introduction. I won't take long because there are much more important people today to speak. I just want to tell two things. First of all, today we don't have a big difference between Ukrainian state and Ukrainian people. We all have the same war, and this is a big, great loss for Ukrainian state too, as for whole Ukraine. And secondly, you may know there is a saying, when the war comes, the first casualty is the truth. However, in Ukraine, we don't say when the war comes, the first casualty is the truth. In Ukraine, we say "Герої не вмирають," which means heroes do not die. And heroes stay with us, even posthumously, to defend our freedom, to defend our truth, to defend everything we stand for today. And as you may know, Maks Levin received Order for Courage from President of Ukraine. He received it posthumously. I may only add that his courage is today with us, in his works, in our common solidarity, and in our common victory. Ukraine will prevail.
So now I'm announce 1 minute of silence. Thank you. And now I ask we have today with us some friends and colleagues from Ukraine. And I now give the word to the girlfriends of Maks, Зоряна Стельмах. And she will join us while the Zoom. Can we please have Зоряна?
So while we're waiting for Zoriana to join us, she's still in Kyiv, if I think correctly. And I would like to tell you something a bit more about the exhibition that we have today. You see, you can see 14 pictures there. They was selected by me, Jana, and when we were trying to work on that process, we saw how much of the great frames, how much of the great images he took. Some of them you could already see and find in the media. Some of his photos were in the German media. Some of his photos was in the BBC and all around the world. So some of these photos we actually decided to left because of the reason that a lot of people have already seen it. They already made an impact. Today, we were really trying to make the narrative with these photos and show the whole invasion with his own eyes. Maks was really inspired and he really loved portraits. He really loved taking portraits of the soldiers. He said that this is the moments where you can really explore and see the humanity during the war. And I've been working as a war correspondent myself, so it's a very big difference when you working in a field and a lot of journalists dying all around the world, but usually it happens because of the airstrikes or shellings or something that kills people without any specifications. Maks was shot with the firearms, so makes a big difference, and this emphasizes one more time that this war is not a simple war. This is a genocide where the Russian Federation is trying to block all the connection for the truth, and this is really important, the work that journalists in Ukraine are doing right now. So right now we are welcoming Zariana, and yes, good evening, Zariana.
Hi, everyone.
I'm passing the word to Jana, and she will ask you a couple of
Can you
questions.
hear me?
Привіт, Зоряна. Тобі слово зараз. Дякую, що доєдналася до нас. Передаю тобі слово.
Перш за все, це справді дуже важливо. Важко говорити, я постараюсь. Це дуже важливо показувати його роботу, Макса, те, над чим він, по суті, працював все його життя, те, що він висвітлював правду. У всіх його показано, у всіх його фотографіях відображено самого його. Це правда, це мужність, відважність і безстрашність, я б сказала. Я б хотіла теж наголосити, що в нього справді залишилось 4 сини, і завдяки його роботі, і завдяки тому, що він встиг зробити за життя, бо він
Zariana, can you please just make a pause so I will be able to translate it from Ukrainian to English. Can she hear it?
Sorry, we have some technical problems. I will translate to you what she said at the beginning. She said that Maks was one of the bravest men, and it's really important to show around the world his photos, his works. And Maks left 4 kids, 4 sons, and today we fundraising money for his family, for his sons. And this is really difficult to Zariana speak today, but she tried her best. And yeah. Заряна, можеш продовжати, ми тебе слухаємо далі. Can she hear me? Чуєш мене? Можеш продовжувати говорити. Можеш говорити, ми тебе чуємо. Okay, so now we're going to the Now we're going to the movie of Maks that he filmed 2 years ago. It's a movie about Ukrainian veteran who back home from the war that started in 2014. And we want to represent it today to you. So let's watch it.
I don't want to generalize, but a lot of people don't value what they have. Our land here is priceless. Every millimeter should be kissed and cherished, because so many people died for this land.
And they still do.
And they still do. They won't leave us in peace.
In general, are you perceived as a hobo?
As a homeless person, yes.
Homeless?
A hobo too, but unlike most hobos, a civilized hobo. An underground hobo.
A veteran hobo?
Gosh, alas. I'm wondering if there are people like me, because I haven't met any. I don't want to get married. I sometimes see red mist when I do find work. Whenever someone says something about the war or the whole situation, that the authorities are to blame. But why are the authorities to blame? Everyone is at fault. Those who say it's the authorities, as if those in power owe us anything. Don't know. No one wants to change anything but demands from the authorities. I took up mountain hiking this April. The first time was Sivulya. It's one of the highest peaks. It's the Gorgane, actually.
Did you hike alone?
All the mountains.
You didn't get lost?
Don't know. I'm led by something somehow. I'm surprised myself a little. They say people often get lost. Well, I did a couple of times, but I discovered some rather interesting places, thanks to getting lost in them. Bistritz is where we need to go. I never noticed that sign.
All right.
Someone even waved at us. Watch out.
Get on.
Maybe hitchhike? These are our female workers. No, they're the ones who are scared in the east. They're scared. They think we have banderas who smother and hang people. People are kind here.
What if one spoke Russian?
It doesn't matter. About the human being. It's not like we're scared of some foreign tongue. Everyone is friendly here. They always help those in need. The rucksack needs fixing. I need to change the equipment. I should have done this long ago. I get some pretty bad bruising. We're from all over the place. I'm from the Luhansk region. Really?
And I'm from Kyiv.
What are you here for? Holiday? Shooting some material. You want me to stop? No.
Why exactly do you want to ascend the Hropa mountain?
I haven't been to Durnia either.
But why do you want Hropa?
Such routes have limited access. There are a few people. I like wild mountains. There are fewer people.
Не знімаєш? Не знімаєш? Та ні, знімаю, кажу, не можу, а тепер не зняв. Дуже файно. То якби...
I went there, it's the Dnipropetrovsk region, Dnipro-Sicheslav region.
Числавщина. І вже так будеш.
It's more steppe-like.
Точно.
I get very nostalgic, I even suffer withdrawal.
Конкретно, аж блин, ламати почув. Що ви любите?
To go back?
Well, people here say we've got used to this.
Та ми звикли до того. Я, наприклад,
I also admired my birthplace in a way. It's not like usual for me.
теж по-своєму. Вона для мене не є, що от... Та тут якось от звично. Та ні,
Every view in Ukraine is unusual in its own way.
по-своєму. Незвичний по-любому.
What doesn't kill us?
There's quite a bit of garbage here.
Yep, there is. It would be nice to stay here for a while. This Carpathia, one from Kyiv Region in general. But I would want to return home. I think about this every day.
Back to the Luhansk region?
Well, yeah. Anyway, can't get my head around the fact that I can't go home. How can it be? I lived there my whole life.
What happened to your parents?
I never even saw my father's photo. I was one outside the marriage. My grandfather is very old-fashioned, had superstitions, he adhered to old rules. He forbade the mother to have anything to do with the father. And in the course of all of that, she abandoned me.
Really?
Yeah, I was 3 months old. She just vanished somewhere. But now with Facebook, I could find her.
You think she's alive?
I doubt somewhat.
And where did you get this desire to go to the Donbass?
It's a sort of revenge. I don't know. Some kind of revenge.
Revenge against whom?
Against all of them. I wish I could take as much away from them as possible.
Who's them?
Those who caused me to come here. Separatists. And the Moskals, respectively. But one should kill them without revenge, but with gladness. Damn, I knew this would happen. Just let it boil too much, burnt too much. It's pretty foggy here. I did ascend a few clouded peaks, but the photos missed the target. thought it'd be nice to have some mushrooms.
There are no mushrooms.
There are none, so I should go back to Kyiv.
Because you'll run out of money?
Well, of course, and it's almost winter.
And if you look ahead, who would you want to become? What would you want to do?
Це поки що кажу, що ну, таке будова, старт якийсь там сферу
It would be nice to work in the service industry,
харчування. Там
food industry, barista or assisting a chef. Maybe even a chef.
Не знаю.
Do you know where you'll be going in Kyiv?
In Kyiv, I do small jobs on a daily basis for Kabanchik. It's a website. I find work there. I post ads on OLX too. I got screwed over a few times. I'm surprised that people con for one day's work.
Взагалі дивує.
It's surprising that people try to get rich by stealing 500 hryvnias.
За рівень там розбагатіти.
So after the war, you never had a stable job?
No, not a stable one. I once worked with cables in Uzhhorod. I wanted to become my full-time job pretty much.
Якби щоб стало стабільно, ну якби відносно.
Then I wanted to learn the trade and move to Europe to one of those assembly line productions.
Більше там теж ці конвейерні заводи. У мене
Because things really went downhill. I thought I'd be like a loader.
там конвейери, голова так крутилась.
I'd get dizzy at times as it stank of rubber. There was one woman undergoing entry in medical examination and she lost consciousness.
Дівчину заносили під руки.
What are those toppling boots?
Німецькі. Це
They're German. I got them from a buddy from Siskapeta, Uncle Wova Skrychovich.
дядя Вова. Скрихович. Ну, звісно вже.
I've been wearing them everywhere for 3 months straight.
Їх вже просто в них всюди.
They're really killing my feet.
Не бувають діти. Це жесть, просто
It's crazy. I want to listen to music. I never thought that just listening to music would be so hard.
просто слухати музику. Зараз.
Everything is so tight.
Та й бля. Розумію, що теж жити.
You understand that listening to music, going to work, all this going on.
Роботою в країні все це відбувається, воно в голові простих людей.
In the minds of the common people, it doesn't matter what's happening.
На них їм це паралельно.
I'm not generalizing, but that's true for many people. Politics, business, war.
А то реально. То політика, то бізнес. Ага.
They carry a bag full of dollars.
Доларів. Поставив.
Someone's coming.
Someone coming? Who is it?
Хто там? Може,
Maybe some locals?
ходить.
Куда идешь? Когда жаль. Ну, Ваня, тебе нажимай их. Что? Куда?
А що він хоче? Часто
You
запитують,
often get asked to when you hitchhike whether you killed people.
а людей вбивав? А, та є.
Yeah. Well, did I see the faces? The snipers?
Є, що снайпер.
Wherever I got shot from, that's where I retaliated respectively.
Ответка йшла.
Well, I heard some saying
Є, ну, відчувають.
they're so bloodthirsty.
Там кровожерливі. Ну, якщо тебе прийшли,
But if they came to kill you, are you meant to just fold your arms and wait? Kill me, please.
рученятка. Бийте мене, давай. Я не знаю, перше,
You know, initially I just wanted to contribute to the liberation. We still had hope in 2015.
ще надія на 15 не була.
Back in 2014, I thought I would meet my people at home. This proper mountain refused to be conquered. The weather didn't cooperate either.
Is it scared? I guess you were supposed to get some housing, a dormitory.
Some payout, right? I never got a cent. I was told you're meant to be registered at an address to get that money.
And how do you get registered?
If someone let me register without the right to ownership, I have no intention to go after anything. Yeah, at first I complained. There are some upsides now too, perhaps even more here. I never would have seen all this, never would have met some people. There are only a few people I stayed in touch with. I wanted to make friends with some.
You feel at home here, right?
Yeah, like at home.
At home.
It's nice in the forest. When I get old, if I get old.
What's it like to know that you don't have home?
I can't get my head around it. I couldn't, but now I sort of acknowledge it. But it still bears hard on you. I should get out of this too, because I feel one also gets used to this way of life. I like a warm bed, and to have a cup of coffee made in the morning.
Alive and well?
Not yet. We just got here.
So, where did you reach?
Chorna Hora range. I got to Pipivan, hell of a hike.
Nice one.
There was a lake there, it's Ribonescu, and that's my first 2,000 meters peak. That's the lake. I took pictures of myself.
Where are you going now?
I can go there, towards Kyiv Region, towards Vitsche.
Hitchhiking?
Probably.
Or the train?
I don't want the train. It's a long walk afterward.
Не жалейте меня, я прекрасно живу. Только кушать охота порой. Да нормально все, пойдите.
Everything's fine. I'm positive. We could have never returned, or even worse, become crippled. That would have been tough. It's okay.
Якимось калікою стати. То взагалі було весело. Так, все. Нормально.
People pay thousands of dollars for trips like this. For such a number of places, I mean, in one summer.
Ну, скільки місяців я маю на увазі? Не кожного дня. За одне літо.
Freedom is not easy.
Але розумію, це багато. Типа так.
Буде тримати?
Конечно.
We are continuing our event, and unfortunately, due to the lack of time and resources, we were not able to find any colleagues or friends of Maks in Berlin. So if you're here right now, and if you knew him personally or professionally, and you would like to tell us something about him or hold a speech, you're very welcome. Please come to us and we'll give you the mic. And right now we're gonna have a call from Nastya Stanko. It's the co-founder of hromadske, one of the most well-known journalists in Ukraine, and a colleague of Maks who were working with him since 2014, where he started his career as a war correspondent. So we're waiting for her. She's gonna be online soon with us, right? And yes,
I'm here actually.
Yes, Nastya. Good evening. We can hear you, so please,
Cool.
You're welcome.
Cool. Sorry for my voice because we are at war all the time, and that's why I am a little bit ill. But yes, I'm glad to be with you, with all of you. Yes, I was friend of Maks, and I was editor-in-chief, his editor-in-chief for 1.5 years. It was a very interesting period of time because we had many opposition meaning about everything, but it was interesting and fun many times. But for me, the most interesting period of our time together it was in 2014, 2015, when we were together at war zone in Donbass, and we made many reports together for different media, but together. And Maks was joking all the time about everything what was happening that period of time. For example, I can remember one very funny story. It was in the beginning of war in July 2014. It was before Ilovaisk. I don't know if every one of you knows that he was with 3 other journalists in Ilovaisk. It was the biggest battle during that period of war in Donbass, and he actually saved the life of 3 other journalists because he was a driver, and they were going through this so-called green corridor because Russians said that it should be green corridor, but it wasn't, and many soldiers were killed in this green corridor. But Maks saved their life, 3 of us, the journalists, and himself. And we thought, of course, that nothing can happen with them because of Ilovaisk, and that he was in the most, I don't know, awful period of time in our story in this battle. But now we understand that worse things can happen, of course. And my story about it's about Popasna. It's Luhansk region. We were there together, and we were in our artillery brigade, and it was shelling all the time everywhere. And we stopped, and it's just lands and that's all. And you know, shelling everywhere. And I asked him why we stopped, that it's very dangerous and I'm scared. And he said, it's like we are near McDonald's. Maybe you want McFlurry. That's why we are stopped. And you know, it's everything about Maks. He knew how to laugh, how to make jokes even in the most dangerous situation, and he was as a friend, you know, all the time. And even when I was his editor-in-chief, I felt myself as, you know, his young sister sometimes, because he always asked me how I am, if I feel normal, if I eat today, if I had breakfast, and everything, you know. And it's meaning a lot, I think. And it's not only about me, but about our other friends and colleagues also.
Thank you so much, Nastya. Could you maybe, since you are now in Ukraine, could you please maybe give us some perspective of how the conditions of the journalist work right now? How is it like to work as a journalist in Ukraine right now? Because this is such an important work. This is what allows people to see what's going on in Ukraine, but we don't really see how journalist works. And if you can maybe tell us also some details about Maks' working routine, how he was as a professional and how he treated his art, that would be also very, very interesting.
Know that he was all the time in the Donbass area before 21st of February. He was there with another international journalist, and not only. And I also asked him when he will come back to Kyiv. And after he took his three older sons to Pripyat Mountains just for weekend to go to the ski resort, and I was also there. It was 1 week before 21st of February, and I was also near and asked him if we can meet with each other and with his sons, and he said that he has no so much time because he just took his sons just for weekend because he will turn back to the war zone, to Donbass. For us, that time it was like Donbass was a war zone, of course. And after, in 21st of February, he was already in Kyiv. He came back from Donbass, took his youngest son, who is 2 years old, from also Severodonetsk, where he was, to Kyiv suburbs, where he lived. And after he went to his friends, who are in different battalions near Kyiv, and I know that he wanted to help them with video from drones. And how everything was happened, how he was killed actually. What was about his work? He from 21st of February, he always took the arm and helmet near his house, and when he came back to his house in the evening, he just took him. Like it's something that never was before. I mean, before 21st. I mean that he thought a lot about his safety, and I don't know how it was happened that he was without armor and without helmet when he was killed near Kyiv, because he was without arm protection. Yes. About his work, He made a lot actually from 24th. I think that he was in that places where we are and other journalists couldn't be. It's because he knew many soldiers from 2014 who were there and who just give him this opportunity to be with them on the positions, because for journalists now in Ukraine it's very difficult to work on the front line, of course, and not even in the front line. Sometimes in even liberated cities and towns, it's very hard to work because of mines, because armed forces don't allow us to be. I think that Maks will be laughing about this law, which don't give us opportunity to show the shellings. And yeah, this is something crazy, but we try to work. Of course, it's difficult, it's dangerous, but we try to continue our work.
Thank you so much for your work. Thank you so much for your words. I think we all here, being in a safe place in Berlin, feel so much gratitude and have so much appreciation for the work of you and your colleagues. And thank you so much also for finding some time for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have anything else? Right now we're gonna put the QR code for the fundraising campaign. This is all what you've seen, the papers on your seats. We're gathering money for the family of Maks, and our partner Ukraine Hilfe will help us to deliver it to Ukraine as fast as possible. Right now, we're just gonna let you to explore the photographs, and after a while, we'll be also showing a slideshow on the video, so you can watch them here or here. And thank you so much for coming. I think you all realize how much it's important in a time of war to pay tribute to such heroes as Maks, to remember how hard their job and how dangerous it is. And until we do that, until we find these moments of humanity, there's no way how the war and how Russia can win, because they can't beat us, because they can't beat the humanity and the strengths of our people. Thank you so much.
As I already said, that I used to work with Maks, and he was one of the most, the person who just can't sit in the one spot. He was always on his car, driving somewhere, filming, make photos. And as you can see, these photos on the wall that he shoot per like 1 month, he visits, I think, more than 5 different places around the Ukraine. So he was one of the first photojournalists who basically show what is the war. And he was one of the most talented videographer as well. And it was really like pleasure to me work with him. And I want to ask you, if you making some arts, please do it. If you making photos, please do it. Show and at your way. If you like to filming, please film. I want to ask you to spread this message around the world, what's happened in Ukraine, and help us to fight with the Russian occupants and end this war. So if you have passion and opportunity to help us, we will be really, really appreciated. And now I represent the open mic. If somebody who know Maks or just want to say something about photojournalist, about videography, so please welcome here and to talk. Thank you.
So if anyone wants to speak, our free mic is open for you. The QR code and the bank's account that you can donate to is on the screen. There is also a donation box with cash. And yes, just thank you again so much for joining us tonight and paying tribute to Maks Levin. Thank you.